Hi guys, so this here back again for another video. On this one today then, we will be doing a list of teams, 1st to 24th, in terms of the highest wage bill. Now, I've been really looking forward to doing this one. Obviously, you've got to get some video ideas for the summer and stuff like that. And this one really interested me. So the teams who've got the highest wage bill, you'd assume will be up in the playoffs, / promotion. And, you know, if you're going off wage bill, the table should be like this, but it does never end up like this. So you're going to go from 24th, the team with the lowest wage bill, to 1st, as we always do. The 3 relegated sides, the playoffs for it, are the 2 teams who have got the biggest wage bill, which I think everyone will know. But in terms of the money, it's interesting. If you do enjoy, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and let's get into it. So 24th then, the team with the lowest wage bill are new boys, Charlton Athletic, with a reported wage bill of £97,762. Now Charlton obviously are splashing the cash at the moment, just bought Charlie Kelman from QPR, which I think, you know, it's a bit of a risky signing, only one proper good season, and that was at League One level. But yeah, Charlton, obviously if they stay up with this wage bill, it'll be a very successful season. 23rd then, we got former League One new boys, Portsmouth. Obviously stayed up last season, but they've still got a quite relatively small wage bill. £121,250 for them. Obviously, Portsmouth have had their financial troubles in the past, so they do have to be careful. They don't want to go down that road again, which was, you know, really, really disappointing to see a team of Portsmouth size go all the way down to League 2. And obviously, one bad season, they'd be a non-league. But yeah, Portsmouth 23rd. I think they've got a very respectable wage bill, especially where they finished last season. 22nd, then, the last team to potentially go down with this wage bill, Derby County, £141,305. Now, Derby, again, similar with Portsmouth, have had their financial trouble in the past. Obviously, that was more down to the fact that ownership and stuff like that, with their ridiculous wages, trying to get up to the Premier League. But yeah, Derby, obviously under John Eustace now, very respectable man, very good manager as well. And the players he's bringing in will know the majority of these players, so he knows what to expect. 21st then, Swansea City. We've got the 4th smallest wage bill in the Championship. I'm expecting playoffs. £141,500. So we are only £195 off being 22nd, 3rd smallest. But yeah, Swansea, obviously their wage bill has declined the numerous of years. Obviously, Ayu's gone. He was on, 80 grand a week. We had Barney, Montero, Martin Olsen at Championship, Van der Horn, Perot, I'm assuming he was on a decent wage. Matt Grimes, yeah, we've had a ridiculous amount of big players in terms of big wages. But obviously these days, you know, we haven't got many great players, so yeah, our wage bill's not great. But look, hey, at least we're not in any financial trouble. 20th then, we got Preston North End, £148,077. Yeah, Preston, again, you'd assume they'd be in the Championship this season. Obviously, like I said, their wage bill, nothing really surprising about that. Preston always seem to be in around that mid-table mark, and obviously Paul Heckingbottom, I think, is a good manager. 19th, now, I need to mention, this is before this summer signings. So you've got to take the fact that all these summer signings are not included. So you know what team I'm going to say. Wrexham, they are 19th with a wage bill of £181,000. Now, obviously, 19th for Wrexham, probably a little bit surprising. But again, they're not, you know, bottom. So they were spending a bit of money last season. But obviously, when they got the owners they can spend what they want, essentially. Especially with the relaxed rules at League 1 and League 2 level. You can spend what you want. But Championship is a bit tighter restrictions. So we'll see how Wrexham do if they stay up this season, which you assume they will. 18th then, Oxford United, £209,815 is their reported wage bill. So yeah, not too bad for Oxford United. Obviously, I've got some very, very good players indeed. Obviously, I think Michael Heglick, who they signed from Barnsley last season, was very instrumental to them staying up towards the end. Yeah, I really like him. I like Cameron Brannigan again. He's very good. He'll probably be one of the higher paid players as well. But yeah, Brannigan's a great player. 17th then, bit surprised with this one. I thought they'd be a lot higher. Stoke City, a reported wage bill of £210,000. Now, again, if I was making this video 4 or 5 years ago, they'd be in the top 3 100%. The players they have in the Championship level with Premier League wages were absolutely ridiculous. But the majority of them are gone now. So yeah, Stoke, obviously, thankfully for them, they got very rich owners. So, you know, they had to be a bit careful because they were losing a lot of money every single season. They still are, but obviously with their wage bill coming down now, it's not too much of a risk. 16th then, we got Millwall, £216,000 and 38 pence. weirdly. I don't know why they've included pence in this one. But yeah, that's probably just Jafik Tanganga's wages with how good he is. But no, Millwall, like I said, spending money this summer. Obviously, this isn't including this summer's transfers, but they do have some very good players, especially that Ivanovic up front. He looks like he's going to be a good, very, very good player in the future, and Millwall will make a very good amount of money on him. 15th then, we're going to our London club. We've got Queen's Park Rangers, £221,931. Now, QPR, again, if I was making this video 10, 12 years ago, they'd be one of the highest if they were in the Championship. Obviously, their Premier League wages back in the day, my word, what were they smoking? Some of the wages they put their players on was ridiculous, and obviously, again, had their financial troubles. But yeah, QPR are a lot more well-run now, and obviously they don't tend to put players on super wages, but they do have one or two players who are on quite high wages for them. 14th, then we've got Blackburn Rovers. They have a reported wage bill of £233,577. Now, Blackburn, again, the majority of their fans, I think 99.9% of their fans hate the Venkies. Obviously, they're not turned out to be a very well-run club. They've been in charge of that club for a long time now, and they've kind of just killed the hype around their club. Obviously, they had the really decent start to last season. John Eustace would get them in the playoffs. He left to go to a team who in the relegation zone. That's his role, really. So, yeah, Blackburn, basically mid-table for their wage bill, but, yeah, I just feel sorry for their fans, really, what they've got to be put through. 13th then, Coventry City, £238,500 for Coventry. I thought they'd be a lot higher than this, really. Obviously, they've got some very good players. Grimes, had you right, Ellis Sims on his day is very good. Defensively, have some very good options as well, and have signed some very good players this summer, like former Swans goalkeeper Carl Rushworth on loan. So, Coventry, I think, in terms of their expectations, will be playoffs again. In terms of their wage bill, though, expected to be around 13th. 12th then, in middle of the pack, we got Bristol City, £240,000 and £240,031 for the Robins. Obviously, Bristol City have very good owners. Free Wi-Fi at the stadium if anyone ever goes to Ashton Gate. If your team's 4-0 down, just load up TikTok and have a little doom scroll. That's what I did before. But no, Bristol City, very good away day. In terms of their ambitions this season, I'm not too sure. Obviously, their fans are very happy with their new manager. Obviously, Manning did leave. They did got playoffs last season, which was very good for them, but obviously the way that finished, they're pointless in the end, wasn't it? 11th place, Birmingham City, £246,000 as their wage bill. Like I said, need to stress, this is not including transfers this summer. Obviously, if it was, they'd be a lot higher. But yeah, still, 11th, technically, which is quite impressive, just to show, though, how much money they had compared to every other team in League One last season. I know people say, oh, they had the most money, they expect to go up. At the end of the day, you still got to do it, though. So, Craig Davis was in a lose-lose position, essentially, to all other fans. Birmingham win the league, go and beat it all season, at home anyway. Got the best team in the league. If he doesn't, flop. How's he not winning the league? Can't win. But yeah, Birmingham 11th. 10th then, we got Sheffield Wednesday, £263,000 and £96. I keep saying pounds, £263,000 and £96. Bloody hell. My English is shocking today. Not too sure how reliable this will be now with every single player leaving. Danny Rowe, like I said, as of recording, has left the club by mutual consent, so they've not got a manager. I think they've only got 11 or 12 players over the age of 21. So yeah, probably Sheffield Wednesday this time next year will be 24th on this list, as they'll have no players. Into the top 9 now, though. This is where the big boys start really splashing their cash on wages. We got Middlesbrough, 9th highest wage bill in the division, £266,308. Now, Borough have started splashing the cash again. Obviously, not too much of this summer, haven't really spent this summer. But last summer, they had some really, really big players. And Iheanacho, God knows what wages he would be on. Whittaker, he definitely had a pay rise from his days at Plymouth. Yeah, they got some really good players. Hayden Hackney's a very outstanding player at this division as well. Dieng in goal, he'll have a pay rise from his days at QPR. So yeah, they got some very big earners there. But obviously Iheanacho has gone now. Bit of a flop signing he was, bit pointless that was. But yeah, Borough 9th. 8th place then we got West Bromwich Albion, £278,303. West Brom, look at their squad, a lot of experience, especially in that central half department. Obviously, a few years ago, they did have a great player, Cedric Keepery. He was outstanding, had a fantastic loan spell at Cardiff, went to West Brom, did very well. And obviously, he's now back in the Championship with Ipswich Town coming on loan from a French team. But yeah, West Brom, do worry about them a little bit going forward. Obviously, Josh Madger, very good striker, but, what he just can't stay fit, that man. But yeah, West Brom 8th wage bill. I don't think that's too bad, really, with them being a former Premier League club over the last 6 years. 7th, then, we got Watford. Quite surprised with that one. £290,608. Now, Watford, again, majority of that's probably just on Moussa Sissoko with his wages. But, yeah, one thing you can't say about Watford, they're not ambitious. Their owners, well, how many managers do they go through a season? They definitely want to get back into the Premier League. But obviously, when you consistently changing and chopping ownership, changing, swapping players with Udinese and Watford, you know, there's just no real stability at Watford. So I'm not sure how the players can grow to like and get a partnership with the team if they keep getting sold and swap with Udinese. But Watford 7th. Into the playoffs then, we got 6 of the biggest teams at the moment with the biggest wage bill. We got Norwich City in 6th, £294,500. Obviously, Borja Sainz has gone now, so that'll be a bit lower, but they still got Josh Sargent amongst their ranks. Shane Duffy is on a very, very big fee as well, and obviously they got Marcelino Nunes. Again, he'll be on very good wages, you'd assume. So yeah, Norwich, again, as you'd expect, the majority of these teams have been in the Premier League over the last 5 seasons. And Norwich, you know, used to be a flip-flop, but now, unfortunately for them, they're just one of us now in the Championship forever. 5th then, surprising, a team who nearly went down last season, Hull City. £303,700. I say surprising, not really when they're in financial trouble and now have a transfer embargo. So yeah, clearly you can see they've spent way too much on transfer budgets and player wages as they can't just afford them anymore. But yeah, there's still, I still think their owner, you know, he has put money in, but again, you've got to be careful with the rules, and they broke the rules and they've got to pay the price. Obviously, their window this summer now will be limited. I assume they'll still sign a few players. Obviously, teams from the Premier League who just want youngsters to go out on loan, they may just do Hull a favour and just ask for no signing-on fee or loan fee. But yeah, Hull 5th. Can't say they're not swats the cash. 4th then, Sheffield United, £431,500. Again, you know, they really needed to go up last season. Again, now they will have a second parachute payment, but, you know, it's just not the same revenue in the Championship as there is in the Premier League. Now, they probably would have gone down if they went up in the Premier League, but again, with that money, it really helps financially. Now, if Sheffield United don't go up this summer, they're going to have to sell a lot of these players. Obviously, they have lost a few players already. Vinny Souza's gone. Ryan Bruce's left on a free transfer as well. Vinny Souza's a big loss. Obviously, Gus Hamer and Azmahojevic are still there at the moment. Chris Wilder has gone. Bit of a surprise sacking. You know, got over 90 points last season, still gets sacked. But obviously, with him being a Sheffield United fan, it can cause a little bit of problems, I guess. Obviously, I'm not a big fan of managers who like your team. I prefer just having a manager who's got no bias whatsoever. But yeah, Wilder, be interested where he goes next anyway. Into the top 3, and what a surprise. It's all the teams who came down from last season. In 3rd place, we have Ipswich Town. £449,000 as their wage bill. Not too surprising. Obviously, they did splash a lot of money last summer. Amari Hutchinson, obviously, has on a big wage as well. Jacob Greaves, Darrow Shea came in defensively. They're on a big wage. Alex Palmer came in from West Brom. He'd have a pay rise, you'd assume, as well. And obviously, up front, they got some very good players. Obviously, Liam Delap has left the club, but they still have Sammy Smarduk. So, yeah, I'm a bit scared of him in the Championship this season. Last time he was in the Championship, he ripped it apart, got the golden boot as well. Yeah, Ipswich 3rd. Now, 2nd, we got Southampton. Now, 3rd, we're Ipswich at 449,000. This is over double. Southampton have a wage bill of £922,500. My God, if they don't go up this season, they're screwed. Yeah, Southampton, a lot of wages there. Again, you will have a lot of clauses with a relegation clause where, you know, players can leave for a certain amount. We've already seen that with Ben Rack. He's gone to Porto. Ramsdale looks like he's going to go to Newcastle on loan, but obviously with them paying a ridiculous sign-on fee and a loan fee, won't really affect Southampton there, which is good for them. They still have a lot of players on Premier League wages. Will Still, the new manager, you know, they're not been too active in the market. They have signed a few players for Southampton, but again, you will expect Southampton to be up there this season. Now, first in the wage bill, Leicester City, who are currently spending £1,005,500. Wow. Now, Leicester could be in a bit of trouble this season. EFL were absolutely gutted when Leicester got up because they couldn't give them any point deductions, as EFL, Premier League, have different rules and regulations and different boards. So when Leicester got relegated, they were licking their lips. Leicester are so... The EFL want Leicester. They want them and they want to hit them hard. They're in a report, a lot of you know, different negotiations with the EFL about them breaking several rules in terms of FFP and that. So yeah, if Leicester don't get a point deduction this season, I will be surprised, and if they don't get a transfer ban, I'll be surprised as well. But yeah, obviously a lot of their players will probably be moved on, but they still, at the time of recording, have players like Ndidi, Hermansen, Wout Faes, Ricardo Pereira. He's been at Leicester for donkey's years, Pereira. He used to be so good, and the injuries have ruined him. Winks, Skip, Mavididi, Patson Daka. My God. I do feel sorry for them in terms of their wage bill, but of course, if they go up, they won't care. Anyway, if you did enjoy the video, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, let me know your thoughts on this video. Quite mental. We've got a team with a wage bill of £97,000 and a team with over 1 million, and we're supposed to compete with that. Good luck to everyone in the Championship against Southampton, Leicester and Ipswich this season. But anyway, the Championship is one of those leagues where anything is unpredictable. But I'm looking forward to it. Should be a good season. Again, these are taken with a pinch of salt. Most of these will not be factually correct. Could be a couple of £1,000 off, could be a couple of pounds off. It's very hard, but you know, this site's quite reliable. And of course, like I said, it's not including transfers which happened this summer or in January, I do believe. So if some of these may not look a bit weird with you, like Wrexham, Birmingham, you can totally understand it. But when I do this video in the future, it will be a lot more reliable in terms of the Championship regulations. But yeah, thanks for watching. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for continued support. And yeah, that is the highest wage bills in the Championship. Any more video ideas, get them in down below. I